Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief program. Today, we dive into some intriguing stories making waves in the region. First up, a group of U.S. investors is looking to privatize ESR, a major Asian real estate fund manager, for a whopping $7 billion. This move raises eyebrows about the future of IPOs in a market that has seen a staggering 80% decline in Hong Kong's IPO activity since 2019. Could this be a sign that companies are shying away from public listings? Next, we take a peek into luxury living with the newly renovated presidential super suite at the Island Shangri-La, spanning an impressive 2,390 square feet with breathtaking views of Victoria Harbour. The suite comes with its own butler and mixologist, setting a new standard for opulence in Hong Kong's competitive luxury hotel market. It's a true testament to the city's commitment to Asian luxury and modern amenities. Lastly, we highlight the recent challenges faced by actor Chow Yun-fat in Hong Kong's luxury property market, alongside regional tensions between Singapore and Malaysia. With a mix of economic commitments and social discussions, this week's highlights showcase the dynamic and often challenging landscape of Hong Kong and its neighbors. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage. Reuters breaking news reports on the recent move by a group of U.S. investors to privatize the Asian real estate fund manager ESR for $7 billion, a decision prompted by the challenging market conditions in Hong Kong and the complexities of ESR's business model. While this privatization might allow new owners to restructure the firm and potentially sell it off to competitors or other buyout funds, the prospect of a relisting on public markets appears grim. Current data indicates that only 40% of private equity fund exits in the Asia-Pacific last year were through IPOs, with Hong Kong's IPO volumes plunging by 80% compared to 2019. The article highlights the struggles of the Hong Kong market and the lack of appealing alternatives for regional businesses, as other Asian stock exchanges fail to rise to the occasion. South China Morning Post showcases the luxurious new Shangri-La suite at the Island Shangri-La Hotel in Hong Kong, which has undergone a stunning renovation. Measuring 2,390 square feet, the suite features opulent decor, including hand-blown crystal chandeliers and a solid marble dining table that seats 10. With panoramic views of Victoria Harbour, it offers a lavish experience, complete with a butler, sommelier, and mixologist at guest service. The hotel's general manager describes the launch of the suite as part of a broader transformation aimed at enhancing the hotel's Asian luxury identity. The suite's amenities include a private gym or spa, and while the room rate remains undisclosed, it is implied that it caters to an elite clientele who can afford such extravagance. In another piece from South China Morning Post, 7 noteworthy stories from Hong Kong and the wider Asia region are highlighted. Among them, the article discusses China's commitment to support the private sector and stimulate domestic demand, as well as the alarming news of South Korea's former defense minister attempting suicide while in detention. The report also touches on the impact of Hong Kong's real estate slump on actor Chow Yun-fat, who has reduced the asking price of his luxury home by 14%. Other stories include a gas explosion in Shenzhen luxury apartments, Cathay Pacific's pilot recruitment milestones, and a social media debate between Malaysia and Singapore regarding migration and urban development. This collection of stories reflects the diverse and pressing issues shaping the region today. South China Morning Post reports on the exciting revitalization project of Hong Kong State Theatre, which is set to unveil a hidden 72-year-old wall that has remained concealed since the theatre's renovation in 1959. Matthew Potter from Wilkinson Eyre shared that the design aims to restore the north wall and enhance the public's appreciation of the historic Grade 1 building. This redevelopment, spearheaded by New World Development, not only aims to preserve the theatre's rich history but also to transform the surrounding area into a vibrant cultural quarter with multifunctional spaces, including a bar and a book cafe. Potter envisions the project as a vertical cultural city that integrates living, working, and recreational spaces, reminiscent of London's Battersea Power Station, which successfully revitalized an old structure into a mixed-use development. In another piece, the South China Morning Post highlights a controversial call from lawmaker Junius Ho, who suggested the government intervene to override the Hong Kong Court of Final Appeal's rulings on same-sex couples' rights. While some view this as an opportunity for discussion on judicial independence and the rule of law, critics argue that Ho's stance undermines the Basic Law, which guarantees the judiciary's autonomy. The letter emphasizes the importance of respecting the judiciary as a neutral arbiter and cautions against using political pressures to influence legal outcomes. It advocates for legislative processes to address concerns regarding LGBTQ rights, urging both sides of the debate to engage in constructive dialogue rather than seeking to undermine judicial independence. Lastly, the South China Morning Post sheds light on the 700,000 Hong Kong dollars expenditure on a panda naming contest in Hong Kong, which ultimately retained the original names of the pandas, Anan and Cuckoo. The Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau justified the spending on website development, advertising, and prizes, although the judges volunteered their time. Despite over 22,600 submissions from the public, the decision to keep the original name sparked debate about the effective use of public funds. Secretary Rosanna Law acknowledged the unexpected outcome but defended the competition as a valuable engagement with the community. The two pandas, now 5 years old, were recently introduced to the public after completing their quarantine period at Ocean Park, embodying hopes for a peaceful future and limitless possibilities for Hong Kong. South China Morning Post reports that experts are considering the possibility of utilizing mainland Chinese hospitals for internships for students from Hong Kong's proposed new medical school. This suggestion comes as the government prepares to establish its third medical institution, which is expected to take 10 to 20 years to fully develop. Professor Joseph Sung, a member of the task group overseeing the school's establishment, emphasized the importance of having a robust clinical training environment, which may necessitate collaboration with healthcare facilities in the Greater Bay Area. The task group aims to provide diverse clinical training opportunities, potentially sending students to hospitals in cities like Guangzhou or Shenzhen to gain exposure to a wider range of medical conditions. Additionally, the challenge of attracting top teaching staff remains a priority, as they are essential for cultivating outstanding medical talent. South China Morning Post also highlights a significant decline in Hong Kong stocks following a disappointing readout from a crucial Chinese economic policy meeting. The Hang Seng Index fell by 1.5%, marking the largest drop in 3 weeks, as investors reacted to the lack of specific stimulus measures outlined by the government to boost economic growth. The meeting's summary reiterated previous pledges without offering concrete details, leading analysts to express caution regarding future market movements. As the property sector struggled, with major developers experiencing significant losses, experts suggested that clarity on policy execution and potential interest rate cuts would be crucial for restoring investor confidence. The overall sentiment in the market reflects unease as investors await further developments in China's economic strategy, particularly in light of potential U.S. tariffs. South China Morning Post reports on the upcoming East Asian Football Federation Championship qualifier between Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei, where coach Gary White expressed concerns about his team's stamina compared to their younger opponents. White, who previously led Hong Kong to success in the 2019 EAFF finals, noted the importance of maintaining a progressive game model despite the challenging playing conditions. He acknowledged the quality of the Hong Kong team but emphasized the need for them to keep pace for the full 90 minutes. With both teams vying for a spot in the qualifying finals, White remains optimistic about the reception from local fans, highlighting the passionate football culture in Hong Kong. The match promises to be a thrilling contest, with both sides eager to secure victory and advance in the tournament. South China Morning Post highlights the transformative power of volunteering within the corporate culture of FWD, a Pan-Asian insurer. By partnering with Hansen Hong Kong, FWD has engaged its employees in meaningful community service projects, such as building furniture for families living in subdivided flats and painting murals at a school for students with disabilities. These initiatives not only foster connections among employees but also align with FWD's core values of caring and community engagement. The company views volunteering as an integral part of its identity, with leaders actively participating to inspire others, thereby creating a ripple effect of connection and purpose within the workforce. South China Morning Post also discusses Hong Kong's ambitious blueprint for arts and culture and creative industries development, which aims to position the city as a leading player in the international art market. Spearheaded by the West Kowloon Cultural District Authority, the blueprint emphasizes collaboration with the private sector and innovative fundraising models to enhance cultural offerings and accessibility. With a focus on integrating culture, sports, and tourism, the plan seeks to attract new audiences while maintaining Hong Kong's unique cultural identity. Successful initiatives, such as acclaimed exhibitions and performances, are paving the way for a vibrant cultural landscape that can drive economic growth and elevate the city's global standing. South China Morning Post introduces Matthew Blasey, the newly appointed creative director of Chanel, who has quickly risen through the ranks of the fashion industry. With a background that includes prestigious positions at Bottega Veneta, Calvin Klein, and collaborations with renowned designers like Raf Simons, Blasey has made a name for himself with innovative designs such as the leather denim worn by Kate Moss. His trajectory reflects a blend of creativity and strategic partnerships, underscoring his ability to navigate the competitive fashion landscape. As he steps into the iconic role at Chanel, Blasey's unique vision and experience promise to bring fresh perspectives to the storied brand, continuing its legacy while appealing to modern sensibilities. Nikkei Asia reports that Hisada, an Australian electrolyzer developer, has formed a partnership with South Korean steel giant POSCO to enhance its green hydrogen production technology. This collaboration aims to leverage POSCO's engineering expertise and resources to scale up Hisada's operations. Hisada's innovative electrolyzers are claimed to be 20% more efficient than traditional models, which could significantly reduce costs in the green hydrogen sector. Despite challenges such as high power costs leading to project pullbacks in Australia, Hisada remains optimistic about its potential, with plans to produce 15 million tons of renewable hydrogen annually by 2050. The company is also considering where to base its commercial operations, weighing support from the Australian government against offers from other countries. South China Morning Post highlights the fierce competition at the World Aquatic Swimming Championship, where Siobhan Haughey finished fourth in the women's 100 meters freestyle, missing the podium for the first time in 3 years. Haughey's time of 51.41 seconds was overshadowed by a record-breaking performance from American Gretchen Walsh, who clinched gold with a time of 50.31 seconds. Despite her disappointment, Haughey is now focused on the 200-meter freestyle, where she is the reigning world champion. Meanwhile, China's Tang Qianting celebrated victory in the women's 100-meter breaststroke, narrowly missing a world record, while Qin Haiyang triumphed in the men's event, showcasing the high stakes and intense pressure of elite swimming competitions. South China Morning Post also reports on the troubling trend of cinema closures in Hong Kong, which experts warn could severely impact the local film industry. With 7 cinemas shutting down this year alone, filmmaker Tenki Tin Kaiman expressed concern that the diminishing number of venues would hinder the industry's competitiveness and tarnish Hong Kong's image as an international city. Although ticket sales have shown a slight increase in 2023, they still lag behind the record figures of 2015. The changing consumption patterns and economic pressures are forcing cinema operators to reconsider their business models, potentially leading to a reduction in the diversity of local films. TIN advocates for the government to expedite production subsidies and urges filmmakers to explore innovative themes to attract audiences back to theaters in an era increasingly dominated by streaming services. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.